Hello and welcome back to Will's World Reviews and more. So today I thought I'd do a review of the match last night, the Barnsley match. It was Barnsley versus the Manchester United 11. Probably just going to make a quick review. There's not really that much to talk about, but I'm sure we'll have things to discuss. Anyway, the final score was 2-1 to Manchester United 11, a very young-looking Manchester United 11. Of course, the main team is away in America on the tour, so there weren't really any kind of notable names in the lineup, but some very good youngsters on show. Least not, of course, the goal scorer of both goals for Manchester United 11 was a youngster called Harrop. He scored early on after a bad pass from Conor Hurricane, who is my favourite player, so it was difficult to watch that because it was just a misplaced pass, and Harrop latched onto it and finished really well past Davis. I wasn't sure who the captain was. I thought it was Craney, but someone on the official site said that Hurricane was the captain. So if someone can clarify that for me, that'd be great. I was working as a steward again, so I missed the occasional bits. It was 2-0 in the first half, and 32nd minute, Harrop scored again. Another great finish from him. Looks like a real talented player. You imagine he's got quite a bright future ahead of him. I'm sure he'll go on loan to some clubs. Whether he'd come to us, I'm not sure. Whether we'd need him, I'm not sure. Again, we'll get onto that in a bit. Barnsley did get a goal back in the 88th minute through one of my favourite players, Big Gene and Voto, with a great finish from him. He went early to that. He went on a great run. I think he's just a class player. Is what we need. You know, we need a big centre half who can also play a little bit. He can play, as he showed in his run, and you know he scored. He scored 2 goals towards the end of last season, and he scored another one today. So I think he's what we need. You know, we need that kind of central power, and a lot of teams are scared of him, especially from set pieces. You know, he's a real threat, and obviously I think if Craney stays, the first choice centre back partnership will be Craney and Naitanga. But Naitanga can play at left back, which is what happened in the second half yesterday. Naitanga went to left back, and Voto and Crane in centre, and McKnight played right back. So yeah, the final score was 2-1. A very poor first half from Barnsley, has to be said. Second half better. Obviously, we looked a bit more solid, didn't concede, and we even got a goal. So let's analyse the players who played, and maybe we can kind of get a better picture of how things are going to proceed. We did sign a player yesterday as well, youngster from Cambridge, Luke Perry. Scored a lot of goals for them last year as a midfielder, attacking midfielder. I think he's probably going to play just behind the striker, if we have him, of 2 strikers. I think Hurricane and Bailey are probably going to be the 2 that can marshal. Maybe Bailey would be a bit more defensive, and I'm not sure how it's going to work. But we've got that's 3 new midfielders we signed, and I'm excited for all 3 of those because they look to be some really good players. So let's have a look then. The starting lineup was Davis in goal, who had an alright game. You know, he still looks a bit shaky at times, but I'm sure he'll improve. Darren McKnight played at right back, a young right back, and he looked pretty solid. Got forward a lot, so he's an option for us, which is good to know because we struggle a bit for that right back role. Craney again was pretty solid. He apparently can play across the back 4 as well, so that might be an option. And he also played in midfield for Barnsley for a bit, and he did really well in that. So what I was thinking is, at the moment we're kind of lacking that experience, I think, in midfield and up front, and maybe Craney would be an option just to marshal that midfield and maybe use Voto in the centre of defence. But then, of course, that would leave a struggling left back. As I said, Naitanga played alongside Craney in centre for the first half, and then left back at the second half. He looked solid in both positions. As for left back in the first half, which was Noel Lazarus, I really don't see any prospect there for him in that role. He struggles to get back. He was such a quick player when he first burst onto the into the Barnsley squad, and he seems to have lost that a little bit. And I think he's a little bit lost at the moment. He's been played out of position quite a bit. I think his best role probably is going to be either down the middle or just behind the striker. And I don't think he's had a chance for that really. So I think it is a big season for him. Similar to Danny Rose, I think they both need game time, and they both need the chance to be played in the right positions. Bailey, again, solid performance from him. He's more of a defensive, but he does like to get forward as well. Same with Hurahan. He looks like a real class player, good touches. If he was captain, I think he deserves it. I think he was Plymouth's captain last year. He would be my favourite for captain, if not vice captain, if Craney stays. So another good game from him. Abbott, again, I think needs a bit more time. Looks fairly solid, but didn't really shine too much. And I think the same could be said for Nana. Again, showed glimpses, but was difficult to kind of analyse so soon. We did have a trialist on, Max Haber, played for Stevenage last year. He comes from Canada, I believe. He looked good. It gives us that bit more height up front, which is what I wanted the other day. I mentioned that the other day. I know again that says that obviously there's more likely to be a bit of a long ball tactic, but it didn't seem that way. And he seems like he's got a lot of strength and a bit more guile about him, and maybe he's an option for us. I still think we need a big experienced striker. I mean, with O'Grady obviously was getting on a bit, but he had a bit of experience. We don't want someone too old, but I think we need someone in there who's got a bit more experience. And again, I think we need a real experienced midfield as well to kind of pull everything together. That way you've got a nice spine going through the team. You've got Turnbull, who's obviously had quite a lot of experience with Chelsea. You've got Craney in midfield, in defence, sorry. Then you've got, we need a midfielder and we need a striker, I think, to complete that spine. As I said, maybe you could have Turnbull, Naitanga's got quite a bit of experience, and then Craney, and then we need just an experienced striker. But I'm see how Wilson goes on with things. The subs, Danny Rose came on, mentioned him. I think he's still lacking a little bit. I think he needs that one goal in the league. He got that with Bury last year when he went on loan, and then he did really, really well. Mikhail came on again. He looks lively, good player. I think he's going to be a good player for us. Came from Man City. And Winall came on. Oh no, Winall played from the start, didn't he? Yeah, he did play from the start, and he was real lively. He looks like a real good signing. He's the striker that we need. Lively, always willing to take a shot, always willing to get on the end of things, have a go. Looks like a real poacher. So he played really well. And of course, Big Gene came on, yeah, he was awesome as he always is. He had a bit of a shaky start to his Barnsley career, but he does look like a real good player, and I'm quite glad that we've got him, and I think he'll be an important player for us in years to come. So that's about it. As I said, interesting game. We've got one more pre-season friendly to go. That's Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, so that should be interesting. I think Danny will hopefully, or should, play a team close to what he's going to play the week after against Crawley at home for the first game of the season, but we'll see. So yeah, in the 2 games so far, I've been quite impressed, and we'll just see how things go. And yeah, it could be an interesting season for us. So until then, thanks for watching. Keep liking, subscribing, and commenting, and I will see you all very soon. So peace.